Garda. Hello, everyone. It's really nice to see people are already joining. Aistear the West. Yup. So, Tom Shaw, let Emma Gishwan, Constance Garda.
Gohuntach, tú héanón?
Magdalor Siobhan, Constance Siobhan.
An fad go Maggie.
So, we're here for a very special reason, a very good reason. We're starting a new journey with Bitesize Irish, an Aistear, and I love the idea, an Aistear journey, learning the Irish language. It's not just something that you can pick up and just let go. You don't get very far if you don't really jump into the journey. And indeed, it can be a lifelong journey if you want it to be. I love the idea of setting off on a journey, setting off on a voyage. It's something substantial and noteworthy. And at Bitesize Irish, we're launching Aistear. It's our new learning platform. So, Emma, how would you describe, let's say more specifically, we have a foundational course, Tús Maith on Aistear. You've been working on it with Neil and Siobhan. What is it? Who's it for?
Well, it's for everyone, firstly, in my opinion. I've been working on putting some stuff together on it. I've really got a good look at everything that has been going on and what is to offer to everyone that will sign up and start with Tús Maith. So it starts off at the foundations. So you could call it a foundational Irish course. It starts right at the basics, meeting, greeting, hello, goodbye, all of that, but it moves on quite well. And the thing I like about Aistear is that, and Tús Maith, is that it brings you along with you, and it's very natural in the way that it moves, so within the Tús Maith course, not only do you just learn hello, goodbye, but by the end of that course you'll be able to have a short conversation and use that. Same with whatever course you take in it, as you move on, at the end of a lot of them, there's conversations, there's quizzes, there's things that really feel natural to you, and it's not just, okay, these are the words, now go use them. I feel it's really a practical course that really is good for self-learning, and then bringing it with you into the real world and using it practically.
Yeah, absolutely. And in a second, we'll add Neil to the stream, who's been developing Tús Maith content. So I would like to introduce each person on the Bitesize Irish team, because I think we have a lovely team. Neil Mata Shekarkilor, Kurhimehu Ishtachinish. So, Fáilte Neil. So, I started Bitesize Irish in 2010. So we're talking more than a decade ago, and hundreds, if not more, members have joined Bitesize Irish along in that journey. And it's been changing over the years, and it's become something more substantial. So Emma, our Bannister Pobble community manager, posts daily challenges in Bitesize Pobble, our private learners community, and keeps in touch with our members, and offers, I think, a bit of motivation, and Cugger Mugger monthly calls and more. And Siobhan here, instructor, all around Irish language helper and enthusiast and passionate. Siobhan runs notably our Bitesize Bio conversational practice calls that are on Bitesize Pobble as well. Bitesize Pobble is available to grow members. And Neil, who's just joined us, is our learning content developer. He joined us about, more than 6 months ago, Neil. Mm-hmm. And you really took a fresh look at the courses that we have. And we took a step back and decided to develop Tús Maith foundational course, which is available on our new platform, Aistear, to really offer you the foundations. So Neil, if we take it from the perspective of specific people, if I'm pretty new to the Irish language, let's say, first of all, how can Tús Maith as a course help me learn Irish?
Well, I think it's as the name suggests, it's a good start, Tús Maith, and it's a self-study course, of course. So you can go through it at your own pace, and it really does start from the basics in Module 1, Lesson 1. It's very simple altogether, and there's lots of we've got vocabulary and explanations in very easy to understand language. And there are audio files for everything as well. So you can play and repeat the sound and play and repeat as much as you need, and then go at your own pace, which is very important for a beginner. And yeah, so you get a really good grounding in the basics of the language. And we're very conscious that people at that level may be taking it. Yeah.
And there's other people too, Neil, that we've kept in mind. People, especially in Ireland, but maybe grew up in Ireland and aren't in Ireland right now, but they want to like reconnect with the language, and they have maybe more Irish than they realize or like to admit to themselves. What do you think? How can Tús Maith and our platform Aistear help them?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest groups that I think there are among learners, because a lot of people have some school experience of Irish, but that doesn't mean at all that people are very confident speakers or that they even recognize how much they know. Sometimes they know a lot more than they think. So Tús Maith will work well for them too, I think, because again, it's self-study, so you can go through at the pace that suits you best. And also, I think it, you know, one of the things, if you've had a few years off or many years off and you're coming back to it, you've got a sense that you know a little bit, but it's good to shore up those details, and it's really good to go over the basics again. But if you're finding it easy, you can just go a little bit faster, because it's up to you.
Yeah, indeed. And if you're coming back to Irish or you're an active learner, both of those, yeah, fantastic. And I think we're all proud of what we have achieved as a team. I think we stepped back, we listened to people's feedback of what they really wanted to achieve, and we've got pretty nice ambitions of what we want to develop on Aistear as well. So it's really like a starting point where we are now. And we're going to tell you how to get a special discount for our launch week. Indeed, this is Lála Pádraig week, St. Patrick's Day week. So a very fitting week to be starting. So before we do that, Emma, you've been helping like work through the material at Tús Maith. Let's be honest, like, where do we want to improve Tús Maith as it stands right now? It's not all our I's are dotted and T's are crossed.
Sure. Well, there's been a lot of work going into it for the last few months, and I think with all the work that Neil put in, and I kind of put a fresh set of eyes in the last couple of weeks on it, and I've been looking and I've been doing my ash cohu, as we say, and right now it's very, I'm very happy with it. I'm sure all of you are happy with it, but we need to get the phonetics in there a little bit more. So we've lots and lots of new material added in there. And as you know, there's recordings, hundreds of recordings in there already there. Added to those are more recordings as well as quizzes. So they're all there and working perfectly. But I think what we're going to be working on in the next couple of weeks, you know, we're still in our teething phase with parts of it, as anything is when we launch. Getting our phonetics in there for those, you know, who might not, they read better rather than hearing. You know, people learn differently as well, you know, you have to bear that in mind. So I think adding to that, adding more well, a couple of more quizzes maybe, but we'll see. But for the most part, I think I'm overall pretty happy with everything that's on there, and I'm proud that we've come to this point, and Neil has put in a lot of work that on what has already been there, you know, done by Owen and Siobhan and others from previous years. You know, we've really built on what we have. So overall, it's ready to use, you know. I wouldn't say it's not, but it's ready to start. And I don't think, you know, if there's any problems, we're always open to feedback from all of our customers anyway. But I think it's I'd be happy to sign up myself and start using it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's the phonetic pronunciation, isn't it, that we have to spend time on now to go back. As you said, like there's hundreds of new recordings in Irish language phrases. Like Neil designed Tús Maith with everyday topics. So I'll show you a 2-minute tour of Aistear and Tús Maith. But before that, we would like to share with you very nice offer for our launch week, and it is only valid for 1 week. So if you're watching this YouTube video and later on, indeed follow the links, but this offer is only available this week until Friday. So that's our website, Bitesize Irish, and if you go to the homepage, of course, the first link there is to Aistear being launched. But if you go straight to this link, and we'll put it in our chat, in the comments, in this video, Emma's putting it there, that you can choose Explore or Grow membership. And if you're unsure, just go with Explore. It'll give you access to Tús Maith and other courses as well on Aistear. And what you have to do on that site to get 50% off your first month is enter coupon code JOURNEY during checkout. So the first screen, you enter your name and your email address. You go on to the next screen, and that's when you can enter the coupon code, and you can select your currency. That's one thing that held us back before, helping people around the world and including Ireland. So we support euro payments now, I'm very happy to say. We were limited to dollar only before in the last e-commerce platform we had. So that's it. You go to bitesize.irish and use coupon code JOURNEY, and we'll remind you this again today. But let's have a quick tour of Aistear. When you come into Aistear as a member after signing up, you'll get this screen. This is the home page of Aistear, and it's the dashboard for your learning. Essentially, Tús Maith is here, and you can also get to the Aistear reference pack, which will support you in Tús Maith, and our standalone courses, our existing favorites, Sing a Song, Bite-Size Yoga, Crack Irish Pronunciation, and if you're a Grow member, Bite-Size Both Scripts. If you're a Grow member too, instead of Explore, you have access to all our old Bite-Size Core C courses. However, we will be developing these and replacing them with better content over time, but for now they're there. When I click into Tús Maith, it's a whole foundational course for learning the Irish language, and we're very proud of this. You get 10 modules, hundreds or thousands of audio recordings. These 10 modules cover practical, real life themes and topics, and in each of the modules you'll get like 9 or 10 individual lessons. So you can go to each of the lessons. For example, let's see, call someone by name. We'll go in there. That's a lesson. So all the lessons look fab. They look cahuntach ar fad. And you can go through, you can listen to all these recordings. Some of the recordings are pre-existing ones, and we've added hundreds more. We're working on adding phonetic spelling. Not all the new recordings don't have them yet, but they will. And once you get to the end of your lesson, you tick the lesson as done, and then that's how you progress over the 10 modules of Tús Maith. So that's what Tús Maith looks like. I can click on the logo to get back to the homepage of Tús Maith, and I can track my progress. So in each of the modules, it'll tell me how much I've progressed. And as I complete each module, I get learning certificate, a completion certificate. And we'll provide you with a certificate when you have 100% progress through Tús Maith as well. Really looking forward to seeing you there. Siobhan, you've been keeping an eye on comments. Are there any comments that you'd like to bring to us? Anything you want to chat through?
Yeah, so a question came in here from Tay, and her question is, what's the difference between a members code or the members code and journey code?
Okay, so if you're an existing member of Bitesize Coursey, that's the platform we've had for the last probably 2+ years. So if you're already a member, you're an active member, you will have received an email today with a special offer. It's an exclusive members only offer, which is pretty generous to existing members. And we really want to help you get over to the new platform and cancel your existing subscription then. And so we're going to help you along the way. And then with Bitesize Pubble, our private learners community for Grow members, that's going to get switched over next week. So if you're already a member, Grow member on Bitesize Coursey, it does make sense to sign up this week on Aistear, cancel your old subscription on Bitesize Coursey, and then in the meantime, you'll be using Bitesize Coursey to get onto Pubble. So there's a bit of a switchover period there. So yeah, if you've gotten the members offer by email, fantastic, go for it. Otherwise, we've got a public offer here, which is pretty generous. It's your first month at half price. So that goes for Explore or Grow. And if you don't really know where to start with Explore. Yeah. Hope that makes sense. So Siobhan, an bhfuil cín eile going?
Tá. Kirsten Shaw or Marilyn on will Gaeilge na moon ar fáil. So is Munster Irish available?
How would you describe that, Siobhan?
Oh, well, I suppose you could say that the vast majority of the recordings are in Munster Irish, given you own a Munster Irish speaker. So when it comes to the recorded sounds within the lessons, they would be in the Munster dialect. But of course, we have other dialects as well, because of course myself, I'm more of Connacht Irish, and of course Neil would have Ulster Irish. So whenever we do something, it would be in our dialects. So but mainly it would be Munster, but in a more general sense as well, in a more standard sense. So not getting to not trying to focus too much on the intricacies of the Munster dialect, but more of a broader Munster dialect, and in the sense that it's available for all Irish speakers. So more standardized, let's say. Hope I described it all right there, Owen.
Yeah. In team that, I agree. Yeah. And we'll question eile?
Tá. I think Keanu Jim. Does this mean my Grow membership is becoming more expensive?
So Jim, no. Your Grow membership is not becoming more expensive, but over time we're going to be adding more value to the Grow plan, more content, and we will be working on Pubble as well in how to best address people's need to learn and practice Gaeilge. So if you sign up to Aistear now, you'll actually, if you're an existing member, you lock in the price you have. So there's nothing to lose there. But you make sure that you have the existing price as well. That if the price does increase during the year, that you won't see that. So now's a good time, I would say. I would like to jump. We can go back to questions. It's been really nice. We launched less than an hour ago, and I'd like to say a big welcome to our newest members on Aistear. So it's really nice to see that these people have already signed up at Aistear. So Jean on Explore membership, TJ on Grow, Sean on Grow, Benjamin on Explore, Kevin on Grow, Finn on Grow, Joe on Grow, Lena, Jerry, Margaret on Grow, Ryan, Peter, a fiadar Conasata, Finton, Jordan, and Kelly all on Grow. So it's really nice to see our first bunch of customers coming on over to Aistear. Really nice to have you jumping in there. Neil, it just goes to show that the value that people see in the content that you have been developing at Bitesize Irish. Just say hi to Kenny, because Kenny was our very first Bitesize Coursey customer like 2 years ago or more. So he's been a long-standing customer at Bitesize Irish.
That's amazing. Hi, Kelly.
So there you go. Maybe Neil, just to switch just a little bit, we spoke, and it'd be nice to talk a little more again now about your perspective of different like streams of learning, like between kind of passive and more active or engaged learning. So how would you describe those different modalities, and what does it mean for someone learning Gaeilge?
Well, one of the things that people usually say they struggle with is speaking, and people don't talk about writing so much because we don't mostly practice writing too much in life. If we can avoid it, we try to avoid writing, I think, in any language. But speaking is really important, and it's something that people often say, oh, you know, I feel like I've studied a lot. I understand, I know these words, I understand these points, but when I need to speak, it's difficult. And Gubunusach, basically, this is, I think it's because speaking is an active skill. It's not a passive skill. So if we're reading, if we're looking at things, you've got time, you can look at it, and you're just taking it in, and nobody expects you to perform or do anything. So it's a passive skill, and listening is a passive skill. People often have issues with listening too, but that's a different question. But listening and reading are passive. You're just taking information in. But then to write or to speak, which is the #1 skill we want, that's more active. So if you've been reading books, watching things on TV, that's great. It's fantastic study. If you've been using well-known apps, any different thing you're using, it's all good. But if you're not doing active practice, you're not getting that chance to do it, and there are possibly different areas of the brain that are activated and so on through that. So there's no substitute for speaking practice. You know, we all want to speak a language. There's no substitute for that except to speak in Irish. But that doesn't mean you have to you know, go to the Gaeltacht and have a, you know, debate about poetry or politics or ancient history. It doesn't mean that you need to go from A to Z. I think our bite-sized bio scripts have been really good for that, about giving you a structure. And even if things are simple, if you do know them, it's really beneficial to say them out loud, because then the more times you say them, the easier they are. As a language learner myself and a language professional, I always think that the phrase we know best in the most languages is thank you, because it's the one we always practice, whether you're in France or you're traveling somewhere. Thank you in the local language. It always seems like the easiest phrase because it's the one that we use. And it's the same in Irish. These phrases are just easier if you have used your mouth to say them. So that's part of the active thing. So I would really encourage anyone using Tús Maith or other aspects of Aistear from Bitesize to be speaking out loud while you're looking, while you're listening to the audio recordings. Repeat, repeat, repeat those phrases, because the more you say them, actively engaging with it, then the better I think they'll stay and the easier they'll come out when you're trying to speak yourself. but that's just one aspect of the active engagement. I think we've got some more. We've got a lot of short quizzes at the end of our lessons now. So it's not just that you read some information, but you need to do something with that information. I think that's a really good way to get it a little bit deeper and clearer in your mind.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so thanks for kind of linking how we can be a bit more engaged, like let's say going through Tús Maith itself, say using those audio recordings and engaging with them, repeating, shadowing, isn't it? The shadowing technique. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Or I also think just bringing it into your everyday life a little bit more, even if there's not much Irish around you, you can still talk to your dog in Irish. You can use the phrases you have, or you can, one thing I did a long time ago was I started keeping my shopping list in Irish, and that forced me to learn uachtar géir, sour cream, and these little phrases that I never had before because they didn't come up in school. But it was a way of interacting, engaging with the language, and it keeps it alive for you, and I think it really strengthens it too. So, and any little ways, and if there's someone in your life that you live with who, even if they don't really speak Irish, you can still use some phrases with them, and in a real context, it's great, I think.
I love it. Yeah, Gaeilge gachla.
Gachla.
Yeah. So Siobhan, we're coming to the end of our live launch. If there was one or two comments you'd like to call out, is there anything you'd like us to talk about while we're here?
Yeah, there was a question here, and I think we did slightly cover it, but it's a question from Daniel, and he would like to know if you'll still have access to Bitesize Pobble via the Aistear platform.
Yeah, so essentially yes, but perhaps with a day's interruption. So Daniel's an existing Bitesize Coursey member in that case. And what we need to do, if you cancel your Bitesize Coursey, your old subscription, Daniel, we'll manually make sure that you have access to Bitesize Coursey. So that might take us a day. So it just means that you'll still have access to the system that logs you into Bitesize Pobble. And then in Thursday next week, so 10 days after this broadcast, we'll be switching over Bitesize Pobble so that it's for Aistear members rather than Bitesize Coursey members. So now you have a few days to settle into Aistear. We'll make sure that you have access to Bitesize Pobble in the meantime. And then you'll be ready for the switch over. You'll already be ready. So yeah, if you sign up now, it's a good thing to start now rather than wait later next week, because then there could be an interruption to your access to Pobble. So Siobhan, is there one or two more?
Yeah, there's another one here, and from Jim, and he says it's a follow-up question to Daniel's, and his question is, what about all the email and posts we've already done on Pobble? So he's wondering if they'll disappear, I presume.
Yeah. So Pobble stays. Bitesize Pobble is essentially like a standalone system. Pobble is like a private internet forum, essentially. That's where our community is hosted. So Bitesize Pobble isn't going anywhere. It's just that we need to hook it up with Aistear rather than the old system Bitesize Coursey. So that's why there's like a switchover period. But Bitesize Pobble stays, all the Fáilte posts stay, all the daily challenges that Emma has posted up to now will stay. So the whole community, the community is going nowhere. And like Emma, you've seen changes in the community lately as well, haven't you, in a positive way?
I have. There's been a lot of activity going on. there's been a lot of members returning to Bitesize. I've seen in recent times a couple of posts from people who've returned, even, you know, they left a couple of months ago or to take time to do their own things throughout their life. You know, life often gets in the way of many things. And even returning members from before I was even the community manager. So I feel like I'm welcoming back people, but I'm also you know, getting to know them, even though they know Bitesize and they know Pubble. So that's one aspect of it. And even just the conversations that are going on with a lot of the members. As you know, I post daily challenges and I prompt people to reply to them and, you know, do their little reading or do whatever it may be that I suggest to do. You know, no one makes anyone do anything here. But I suggest different topics, and I absolutely love when I come on to see the replies and the comments. I've so many replies from people looking for my own corrections, you know, on maybe their grammar or their spelling, but also I see other members correcting each other and having conversations outside of, you know, what we're talking about in my topic. So I feel that it's a real good time even to join Grow if you are interested in getting going in the online community, because I think, you know, everyone, you know, it's the start of the year as well. You know, we're early into 2022. Everybody's happy and ready to go, and I think I really enjoy logging on every day and having conversations with the members and seeing that there are friendships. Although they're virtual, they are there on Pubble, and I'm sure that many of the members, even in the chat right now, can agree that, you know, you know your fellow learners and your fellow, I suppose, Gaelgoers.
Yeah. So Siobhan, I'd say you're replying to comments, but for anybody who wants to get in touch with us, you can directly. So we've run out of time, but we're happy to answer your questions. So bitesize.irish, and there's a contact page there with the form you can fill in, and we'll get back to you. So I want to say thanks, Gurmila Magav, to two sets of people. And first of all, it's the Bitesize Irish team here. So Neil, Emma, and Siobhan, who've worked so hard to bring Tús Maith and Aistear to take it from just a crazy, chaotic idea where we didn't really know where we were going. Really fulfilling, and I thoroughly enjoyed the conversations we had to mold the survey responses we had from our customers to what we could do. And we've got plenty of ideas of what we can do for our members too. So this is only the start with Aistear. Aistear is going to keep changing. And I'd say if we can be sharing like progress every month with our customers, I think that's a good pace that we'll aim for. So Gurmila Magav. And thank you to all our customers and, you know, the broader audience of Bitesize Irish, that you've stuck with us. You have a bit of faith in us to try something new instead of us just getting stale and stuck with what we had. You're coming with us on this new journey, this new chapter of Bitesize Irish. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you on Aistear. So a chuirde sinné támuid críochnatha. So Jeremy Dillig, Slán Niv, thanks a lot. Slán.
Slán, Gurmila.
Slán go fóill.